we make way for Ian Rapoport, NFL Network insider. You can follow him on Twitter at RapSheet, and you can see Ian on NFL Network's NFL Game Day morning, Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Ian, thanks for joining us. Where are you philosophically on the Eagles situation?
I wasn't that offended. I mean, I was watching like everyone else, just kind of, there was so much coaching stuff going on. Gase got fired during the game, but I was watching, and all my friends, a lot of Giants fans, friends from home, from high school, were all pissed, and everybody was freaking out. And I couldn't find the anger and annoyance. I mean, the Steelers left all their starters home. The Bills played a bunch of backups. The fact that Nate Sudfeld was bad isn't, it's the Eagles' fault because he was on their roster, but it's not totally their fault. I couldn't find the anger. I don't know. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I understand that the Giants want to see, a fully equipped Eagles team, and they want to go out there and win and put your best, effort forward. But, Ian, we're going to run into even more of these games when they add Week 17, more meaningless games where more teams will be resting starters. So the NFL can't, Sal Paolantonio yesterday said, the NFL should investigate the Eagles. I don't know how you investigate that, right? Yeah. Hey, did you try to win?
Right. So Doug Peterson says, yeah, we tried to win. And it's like, well, yeah, but you also tried to evaluate for next year. Whatever you were trying to find out on Nate Sudfeld, you probably found out. I would also say this. I loved what Joe Judge said too. Like the Eagles did what was best for their team. They evaluated players. They got a better draft pick, which I don't think they were trying to do, but I'm just saying they played a lot of not good players, and that's what happened. They did what's best for them, and I think Joe Judge's message is something that's going to resonate with Giants fans, and I know it has already resonated with Giants players. They both did what's best for them, and I am really okay with that.
Yeah, I hope Joe Judge doesn't go 12-4 and rest his starters next year. Just want to let Joe know, if you plan on being around this game a long time, chances are it's going to come back and bite you there. But the openings that we have right now, the best opening, in your opinion, is where?
See, everyone says the Jaguars, right? Because you got the number one pick, and you got all the money, and you got actually multiple draft picks, and you got a patient owner who's lived through several years of Doug Marrone. I would say the Jaguars is a very, very good opening. I kind of feel like the Chargers is the best, though, because like the Jaguars are going to draft a quarterback, presumably Trevor Lawrence, but we'll see. Especially if it's Urban Meyer, we'll see. I think Trevor Lawrence is a great prospect, and I think a lot of people think he's the best prospect we've seen in quite a while. We've not seen him on an NFL field. I have seen Justin Herbert on an NFL field. He is very, very good. He is, really good. If I'm a head coach, I wouldn't mind taking over that because, first of all, you got a defense, you got some players. That is a really good personnel group. Tom Telesco does a great job, the GM. They got talent. You're really just coming in with a chance to go to the playoffs your first year. I love the Chargers job.
Yeah, I do too. I'm with you on that because I have my quarterback. I do have some star players. They haven't been healthy, but I do have star players. I don't think there's an inordinate amount of pressure on you with the Chargers because you're in Los Angeles. So you can go 8-8 and people will go, all right, we're starting to rebuild here. You're the second team in that building, and it just feels like you could go in there and kind of ease into that job. You go into Jacksonville, you get Trevor Lawrence. Now all of a sudden, all eyes are on you. Like, all right, and if it's Urban Meyer, now people are going to expect greatness out of Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and I think the Urban Meyer rumors, which let's be real, I stoked a little bit with my reports on Saturday and Sunday, are true. They're interested. He's interested. I would consider him the front runner. They got to go through the process, but right now, I would say there is a legitimate chance of that happening. That is going to be, when media is allowed to do human things again, like travel, everyone's going to be at their training camp. We're going to go live from their camp. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. It's going to be, sorry, let me turn my phone off. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, and everyone's going to be there. And look, Joe Burrow was a great quarterback, okay? He was a very promising rookie. I thought he did a great job. They won very few games. It's hard to have a rookie quarterback come in and win a lot of games. Jags might be much improved next year and go 6-10. that is a hard situation. Chargers easier.
And I know that the report is out there that Urban Meyer would be getting maybe $12 million a year. Is that?
I don't believe that's true.
Okay.
I mean, he's gonna be richer than I am. But 12 million is not accurate. He deserves a lot. He's going to get a lot, but that number is not relevant from what I understand.
And then the Jets situation. What do you do at number 2? And you have Sam Darnold. How good is that Jets opening?
I'd say it's pretty good. There are some questions though. The roster needs a lot of help. They are not talented at all. And I think for Darnold, he played well enough at the end of the year that my gut is if they want to trade him, which they probably should do, you'll be able to get a second rounder plus or a late first rounder for Sam Darnold. That's fine. That's a very good investment. Early first round, started for 3 years. Then you get a late one coming back. Then you have more first round picks, and they have plenty. It's just historically they have not been good. They need to fix the building still. They need to kind of come together a little bit, I would say. And then there's what happens when Woody Johnson comes back. And honestly, I don't have the answer to that. That's a question.
He's Ian Rapoport, NFL Network insider. Eric Bieniemy going to have his choice of these jobs?
I hope he gets a job. I think he's deserving. He's going to get, several interviews. I know he's already got some. I think he actually interviewed yesterday, Lions maybe. I think he actually interviewed twice yesterday. He's a really good candidate. It is time. I hope he gets a job. But the problem is, there's 6 jobs. Let's assume for the sake of this argument that Urban Meyer ends up in Jacksonville, then that's 5 jobs. It just takes one owner to make the independent decision that this is your guy. The odds are still not with him just because there's so many good candidates. So I'm not convinced he gets one. I just know he's deserving. And honestly, I kind of hope he does. It's just, there's a lot of other really good candidates too. And that's a problem.
He's older than Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. I mean, it's, my buddy Tom Pelissero does a list of sort of up and coming coaches. And he says, all right, if you're 40, if you're older than 40, you're not on the list because, like I'm older than 40. I'm not up and coming. I'm just old. You're old too, by the way. No offense. But Eric Bieniemy hasn't been on the list in forever. But people think he's still up and coming. Like he's been there. But yeah, it is time.
And I start to look at these quarterbacking situations here. And, you start with the Jets. What happens? We have this influx of first-round draft picks, potential first-round draft picks. But then I've got guys like Matthew Stafford and Matt Ryan, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mitchell Trubisky. Like these waves of quarterbacks, it keeps happening. We always say, boy, we haven't seen this in a long time. Here's another wave that's coming. And we thought the wave last year was big and lasting, and it probably will be. But what do you expect to happen with some of the veteran quarterbacks?
Yeah, last year was a weird anomaly, I thought, because you had Brady and Rivers and legit quarterbacks changing teams. We're going to see more of that this year. So here's my early read on the situation. Okay. I have a hard time imagining that Stafford or Matt Ryan gets traded because think about it. The trades happen in March. That's when you get the value. That's when you clear the salaries, figure out what you can use in free agency. Trades happen in March. The Lions and the Falcons are not going to know who their quarterbacks are in March. They'll probably know in April during the draft, but they're not going to know in March. So I don't think either of those guys gets traded now because you're not going to trade him without knowing who the answer is. Is it possible Garoppolo gets traded? I think it's possible. They came out and said yesterday that they expect him to be back. I would say we'll see. I would expect him to be back unless they get a better offer or a better answer, like all of us. And then, Carson Wentz, I think there's a real chance he gets traded as well. Indy would be a really good option for him. But, I mean, we're going to see a lot of movement and a lot of needs. I mean, what are the Saints going to do at quarterback next year? That's a big question, too. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting offseason.
Wait, you don't think they're sold? That Sean Payton's not sold on who's Drew's replacement?
I mean, I would just say, and I don't want to get an angry call from Sean Payton. My guess, based on my eyeballs and what I know, is that they will probably be looking for a quarterback next year to complement Taysom Hill, who they also love. They love him. I know they love him, but I'm not sure he's the quarterback of the future there.
He's not a starting quarterback.
I mean, I just know when I talk to defensive coordinators, head coaches, general managers watching Taysom Hill, they were intrigued, but they were definitely not sold.
Oh, I'm intrigued, but I think Jameis Winston is more of a NFL quarterback, and hopefully he got this, hands-on tutorial from Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and maybe that'll help his judgment when he gets on the field. Let me leave you with this. Have the Dolphins seen enough of Tua where they're convinced they got the right guy?
I think so. I have not heard otherwise.
Okay.
But I'm going to say this, like, if you have an opportunity to get better at quarterback as a team, you should take it. It's your responsibility to take it, right? So I cannot say, looking at the quarterback situations across the league, there's only like 10 where you'd say they are done, right? Like they're done. They're not taking a quarterback. I would say for the Dolphins, I think they are done, but I'm sure they're going to evaluate all the quarterbacks in the draft. I mean, Tua is a rookie. Most rookie quarterbacks don't play, and if they do play, they're not good. They make mistakes. They throw interceptions. They look bad. They don't get the offense. The problem with Tua is we saw him play. So I think they are sold, but I would not necessarily bet my life savings on it.
Good to visit with you as always. Thanks for joining us. I know it's a busy time for you. Thank you, Ian.
All right, back to my phone. Take care, man.
That's Ian Rapoport, NFL Network insider. You can see him on NFL Network's NFL Game Day morning. That'll be Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern.